Welcome to the world-class hotel, The Last Resort, where you'll find spacious and bright rooms providing the ideal atmosphere to relax and enjoy your vacation. Dear guests, you can leave your belongings in the lobby, but don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our breakfast of secrets, which, of course, is included in your stay. Have a good night at The Last Resort. Here you have 25 secrets of Luigi's Mansion 3. Super Mario always goes on vacation with Princess Peach, and Luigi always travels with Daisy with his dog. Since Luigi's Mansion 2, Polterpup is the plumber's most inseparable friend, and at the beginning of Luigi's Mansion 3, you can pet him in the toilet. In the game guide, you can see that the Polterpup is a silver retriever, possibly the cutest dogs ever. The Virtual Boo is the device Luigi uses to communicate with Professor Egad, and this invention is based on an old Nintendo console called Virtual Boy. Did you know it? Probably not, because it was a monumental failure. This 90s gadget had not so great virtual reality, but the worst part was the frequent dizziness during its use. When Egad gives the Virtual Boo to Luigi, he mentions his plan to sell it, and humorously claims it'll fly off the shelves, referencing the Virtual Boy's failure. In this game, Luigi can replicate one of the most iconic scenes from Super Mario Bros. In the dance hall, there's a hidden block that comes out of the wall, and you can hit it with small jumps using the poltergust. Doing so will release coins, a reference to the classic blocks in the Super Mario Bros. Series. King Boo and Professor Egad must be loaded with money because they wipe their butts with bills. A small and curious detail is that the rooms of these two characters are the only ones in the entire hotel where the toilet paper is not paper but money. Just so you know who's in charge in Luigi's Mansion 3. The Boos in this game have an incredible secret that uses the exclusive capabilities of the Nintendo Switch. When Luigi is close to them, the Joy-Cons start rumbling, but this rumble has a meaning. It represents the letters B-O-O in Morse code. After completing the game, a series of images of the Last Resort reconstruction will follow, but one of them has a very special origin. It's a reference to the photograph Lunch Atop a Skyscraper, taken on September 20th, 1932, over a beam of the Comcast building. Luigi's Mansion 3 pays homage to this dangerous photograph, with the protagonist having lunch while building the hotel. In Mario's room, there are pizza boxes scattered on the floor, and from this, you can draw two conclusions. The first is that Mario has let himself go a bit and spends his vacation lounging and eating high-calorie food. The second is that this pizzeria was founded the same year Luigi was born, 1983, in the Mario Bros. Game on Game & Watch, being the second player. After completing the Paranormal Productions floor, you can leave the director alive or dead, depending on how you look at it. If you leave him alone while he finishes the movie he is editing and come back later in the game, you will see his work. The recording of the boss battle of this floor turned into an action movie with giant monsters and an Oscar-worthy Luigi. On this same floor, there's a hallway with some frame posters referencing Next Level Games history working with Nintendo. Here you can see Metroid Federation Force, Punch-Out!, Luigi's Mansion 2, and Mario Strikers Charged. Although Metroid Federation Force was a mediocre game, Next Level Games loved it so much they included a version of the main theme in Luigi's Mansion 3, while Amadeus Wolfgeist plays on the piano on stage. Professor Egad is a box full of surprises. His eyes were a mystery until we saw them in Luigi's Mansion 3 when dazzled with a flashlight. Behind his huge glasses, he has two tiny black eyes. When dazzled, he'll also strike the iconic poses of actress Marilyn Monroe, being flirty. In his lab, he has a coffee maker because the professor is a total coffee addict, demonstrated by his own cafe in Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. He also has the Robomb from Luigi's Mansion 2. Did you know that Kazumi Totaka, aka Totakiki, voices this character? I told you, a box full of surprises. Before Luigi's Mansion 3's presentation, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate hinted at the game's existence, with a scene where Luigi had the new vacuum that would appear in the game. It wasn't easy to notice, but this weapon that launched plungers was so useful in the last resort could be used before in Nintendo's fighting game. Time to burn off those pizzas. When Luigi's in the gym and starts vacuuming the treadmill, you can hear the beginning of the Donkey Kong game song, when Mario grabbed a hammer. It's not the only time Luigi's Mansion 3 indirectly mentions Donkey Kong, as many fans believe that when rolling pineapples fall down the stairs, Nintendo and Next Level Games are referencing Donkey Kong throwing barrels at Super Mario. Luigi's Mansion 3 is a horror game, or at least it pretends to be one. And beyond all the ghosts, monsters, and ectoplasms, the scariest thing was Princess Peach imitating E.T. the Extraterrestrial. In this final scene, Peach elongates her neck 3 times its original size to hug Mario and Luigi, a graphical glitch on par with the eye earrings of the princess in Super Mario Sunshine or Super Mario's 10 fingers in Bowser's Fury. On the 4th floor, there is a painting of a piano with keys sticking up to form a 3, fitting since it is Luigi's Mansion 3. The thing is, pianos have always been associated with horror in Super Mario. If you look closely, this one even has a mean face, reminiscent of the piano in Super Mario 64, which would try to bite you when approached. The common ghosts in the game hold a secret when they're all together in the lab. Their name's initial form the word ghost. When Luigi controls Gooigi, he transfers his consciousness to this gooey being. When Gooigi gets an item, Luigi will raise his hand with a thumbs up as a sign of approval. It seems like he's encouraging himself for the feats he can accomplish. Another detail about his animations: if you put Luigi under a water stream, he'll start washing. Confirmed he's not an otaku. Do you know exactly what Gooigi is? This Luigi is made of goo, a substance obtained by mixing spectral energy and coffee. It lacks its own initiative and quickly learns what it's taught. But why does it look like Luigi? This creature tries to mimic the plumber's physical appearance for a reason. It wants to be Luigi. According to the professor, it has no intentions of its own, though it has copied the character almost perfectly to look like him. Professor Egad sent the goo to the past to train with Luigi and mimic his behavior in Luigi's Mansion 1 Nintendo 3DS version. That's when it adopted Luigi's form and was called Gooigi. After completing its mission in the past, this Luigi was returned to the present, creating 2 different timelines. By learning so much from Luigi, the goo came to take his form, and although the professor claims it has no feelings or intentions, its stay at the last resort could unleash intelligence in the goo and try to completely replace Luigi's identity, which seems to be its purpose from the beginning. Luigi's Mansion 3's hotel hides a bunch of references to different movies. Most of them are horror films. The carpet from the Hall of the Twisted Sweets is a reference to the floor in The Shining. Twin Peaks is also referenced here. The ballroom floating in the sewers is a reference to the clown Pennywise from the movie It. The girl coming out of the well is a reference to the movie The Ring. Godzilla makes a cameo as a boss in Paranormal Productions. The sequence with the lost toad, along with the first-person camera, is very reminiscent of the movie Wreck. The device that opens and closes on the floor is a reference to the ghost trap from Ghostbusters. The bike with a blanket that appears in one of the sets is a reference to E.T. when he flies with Elliot on the bike. The siege on the Winter Castle with undead could be a reference to Game of Thrones. The chairs stacked on top of the table in the hotel shops are a nod to Poltergeist. The scene where a giant spider attacks Luigi is a nod to the movie The Incredible Shrinking Man. Just after catching the museum ghost, it'll throw a bone into the air, a reference to the beginning of 2001: A Space Odyssey. In one of the attic rooms, you can find a model of Gloomy Manor, one of the mansions from Luigi's Mansion 2, along with the Dark Moon. In Luigi's Mansion 3, this moon also appears as a cameo when King Boo gets stunned. After completing Adventure Mode, the game rewards you with a different hotel depending on how much money we've collected throughout your game. There are up to 3 different hotels, one small, one medium, and another larger with all kinds of luxuries. Also, if you complete all the game's achievements, you will get a golden poltergust. Among the game files, a hidden melody unused was found. Let's hear it. It's a very simple version of the main Luigi's Mansion theme. It seems the developers used it for sound tests during the game's development, but eventually forgot to delete it. It could be said that Luigi's Mansion 3 is a love story, but an unrequited one. Helen Gravely will completely fall in love with King Boo, and a sign of this is her obsession with the ghost in the attic paintings. This character will do everything possible to satisfy King Boo, which she takes advantage of to achieve her goal of capturing Mario and Luigi. Poor Helen, has anyone ever played with your little heart? In Professor Egad's room, you can find posters on the walls showing the evolution of the vacuums from previous Luigi's Mansion games. There's the Poltergust 3000 from Luigi's Mansion 1, the Poltergust 5000 with an included light bulb from Luigi's Mansion 2, and the Poltergust G-00 from Luigi's Mansion 3, which, if you didn't know, its name corresponds to the first 3 letters of the word Luigi. In the security office of the shopping center, among all the lost items, you can find the iconic umbrella of Princess Peach. Its handle ending in a heart shape is unmistakable. Coincidentally, you can find a second damaged umbrella in Peach's own room, leading us to think she took a spare umbrella. The Big Boo that appears as the final boss in the Scare Scraper mode is called Boolossus, and it's not his first appearance in the Luigi's Mansion series. He first appeared as an enemy on the balcony of Luigi's Mansion 1, where you had to make him burst with the statues to divide it into smaller boos. If you're still eager to keep exploring haunted mansions, don't miss the rest of the secret videos from Luigi's Mansion and Super Mario. Thanks for watching. See you next time!